YouTube. Okay, so it's story time about my Carnival cruise experience that I went on last year. I went on the Carnival Victory to the Bahamas for a weekend. It was a weekend cruise and it wasn't exactly what I expected for my very first cruise, but stay tuned to find out all the details of this very crazy party cruise. Okay, so I went on a birthday cruise for my 40th birthday to Nassau, Bahamas last year, November 2018. It was a weekend cruise on Carnival Victory. It left from the port of Miami and it went to the Bahamas. It stayed to the Bahamas overnight and then it went back to Miami. But what happened while we were on the ship is what kind of made me like, it was a so-so trip. Overall, I had a good time. But would I do a weekend cruise on Carnival again? Probably not. Maybe a different cruise line, I'm not sure. Okay, so I have some notes so I can tell you the pros and cons of my Carnival cruise experience on the Carnival Victory. All right, so I told you it left from the port of Miami. I love Miami. I have to tell you about my trip in Miami, but that's another video. The onboarding process. Now, I was super frantic to go on this cruise, so I booked everything super early. So we got to the ship at about 11 a.m., but our rooms weren't ready till about 1 or 2 o'clock. So we had time to kill, so we went to the cafeteria. Like, everything was super duper crowded because everybody was getting on the ship at the same time. So the cafeteria on the Lido deck, deck 9, it's a big buffet area. That's where the pool is and the theater and all that. It was crowded. The food was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was okay for us just getting on the ship. It was breakfast time. Oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't breakfast time. It was afternoon time. So they had like, regular burgers and fries, those type of dishes. So, it was okay. It was something to eat, but I don't know. It was kind of iffy. Okay, the safety check. I really think Carnival needs to improve on how they do their safety checks. So we got to our rooms finally at about 1 or 2 o'clock, and we had to do a safety check before we could leave the port. So we had our muster stations on our little cards that they give us, for the doors that you go in. So we were on a lower level deck, so our muster station wasn't that far, but the disorganization of getting people to the muster station and how to do everything in a safety check, I really think they need to revamp that process. It's like, how can you get that many people on certain decks at the same time? It was just too much. I don't like their safety check. They need to improve it. So if you've been on Carnival and their safety check was horrific for you also, leave a comment, let me know. Okay, so I told you about the buffet station on the Lido deck, but actually they had a lot of food options. There was food everywhere. Like, if you said you were hungry on a Carnival cruise, I would say you were lying, because there was food everywhere. They had burgers, they had pizza, they had seafood, they had the sit-down dinners. So overall, the food was good. It was okay. There was one restaurant, I forgot the name of it, but it was a seafood place. They had like crab legs and everything. The wait was so long, people were waiting for like half an hour to an hour for food. So I really didn't get any seafood from there, but I did get seafood off the ship in the Bahamas at a restaurant that was in the shopping area where you get off at the cruise port. So I told you that I was on a party ship, and when I mean party ship, it was a party ship. I think for the weekend cruise, it was a younger crowd on there. I saw a lot of younger people, And when I go on vacation, I want to relax and enjoy the sun and the sea breeze and all that. And oh, it was a lot of families too on this ship because it was during Thanksgiving break. So we had a lot of families and little kids running all over the place. Now don't get me wrong, I love kids. I have 2 children of my own, but they are adults. So I don't want to go on vacation here with screaming little kids. So I did manage to find the Serenity area where it's for adults only. But on Carnival Victory, the ship I was on, the area was like really small for the amount of adults that was on the ship. And they had like a wedding going on, so parts of it was cut off. So, you know, it was a so-so experience. I think they need like a bigger area for adults only, you know, just to keep the kids away if you're trying to get a break from your kids. So, things to do on the ship. There is something for everybody on a Carnival cruise ship. If you said you were bored, you were lying. We went to karaoke, we went to the comedy club. They had a nightclub on there. It was packed every night, like standing room only. They had stuff going on around the ship, like the stores had little giveaways. There were people doing entertainment on the main bar area when you first come on the ship. So everywhere you went on the ship, there was something for everybody. So I would definitely recommend Carnival for fun. They are the fun ships, and that is true.
Gotta say.
So another great thing about Carnival is they are one of the least expensive cruise lines to go on. The Bahamas cruise I went on was very inexpensive, and I did kind of book it at the last minute. So it was a great deal. So if you need like last minute accommodations, try Carnival Cruise. I did a weekend cruise for a weekend. I think I spent about maybe $500 total for my whole trip, and a couple hundred extra for my flight there from Atlanta to Miami. So it's definitely a discount cruise. I would highly recommend it for that if you have a big family or if you just want to do a quick weekend getaway with your friends. So the ship went to the Nassau, Bahamas. Now shout out to the Bahamas. There's a lot going on there, but when I went, everything was okay. But do I recommend the Bahamas for like a beautiful vacation getaway? Not all of the Bahamas were very nice and pretty and pristine, you know, mostly the resorts. The resorts were beautiful. We stopped in Atlantis and we kind of walked around. We saw the casino and saw the artwork and the figures and all that. The beaches were beautiful and very kept up, very nice at the resorts. But the other parts of Bahamas, you know, they're kind of so-so. I wouldn't say it was like the most magnificent experience I've ever had, but it was an experience. So we stayed overnight in the Bahamas, but we went back to the ship because on that night, it was my actual birthday night. We went to the captain's dinner, which was fun. It was awesome. It's an extra cost, but I highly recommend it. We had a great time. I'll try to find some video and pictures from that and include it in this video. But the captain dinner was awesome. I highly recommend it. I had a great time. back to the port of Miami. We got back at about 7 a.m. and we got off the ship maybe an hour later because, you know, it's like thousands of people on a cruise ship. So, you know, once they call your floor, I guess, you get off the ship. So it was kind of a wait, but everybody trying to get off the ship at the last minute at the same time. So debarkation, it went a lot more smoother than getting on the ship. But again, it was a lot of people, thousands of people on the ship. So my review on Carnival Cruise Victory, leaving from the port of Miami, going to the Bahamas. Overall, if I had to give it a score out of 1 to 10, I would give it like a 6. You know, I think the ships, they just need updating. But besides that, you know, the ships are fun, they're affordable, and there's something for everybody on the ship. So that's why I recommended Carnival Cruise Lines. They just need to update their ships a little bit. They're kind of outdated. They kind of reminded me of a really old casino in Las Vegas. But besides that, I had a great time. I'm actually going on another cruise this November to the South Caribbean. And this cruise is going to be for 7 days. So hopefully I'll have a different experience. Maybe it's a different crowd on a cruise ship for a week long. Who knows? But I will be back with that video and let you know how it goes. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.
Gotta say